I tell you, it becomes increasingly more difficult not to want to just bury your head in the sand and stay there forever. Assume the fetal position and cower. And just give up. Because it seems as though there's no point to anything anymore. Because it seems as though everything you ever thought could possibly happen is going to happen and nothing will stop it. People are just rolling over and letting everything occur without doing a darn thing about it. Raising their hands in the air and essentially saying, "We did all we could. That's a wrap. We're done." I swear, I'd have a lot more spine if I was some political office. Hello, viewers. Hey, wow, why did I almost say main ducks? I would appreciate it if you would consider leaving a like. It'll help, with the viewership. Every like helps. I hope you'll forgive my not being in the best of moods. It's not exactly pleasant seeing the country you live in fall apart and burn into ashes. It's even more difficult for somebody who's a nihilist and doesn't see, pretty much sees the world as a non-stop descent into hell. And that appears to be the point we're at right now. And I'm getting sick and tired of it all. And if this wasn't YouTube, there's a lot I'd be saying right now that I can't say. If I could be completely unrestrained. I mean, hey, feel free if that's what you would like to do. But yeah. You know, I hate to be that guy, but I'm kind of surprised things aren't even worse than they are now. I was expecting things to be much worse at this point than they actually are. I'm surprised it's taken this long. Because I truly believed that it must be a new thing. Yeah, I truly believed that this would have happened months ago. I truly believed that what happened in LA and some other things was going to be dialed up to 11 by now. It was actually nowhere near as bad as I thought it would be. Which doesn't give me any hope at all. It really doesn't. Because here's the thing, and this is what angers me so much. And I understand, never give up, never surrender. But here's the thing. The Supreme Court has basically said, do whatever you want. We don't care. We're not going to stand in your way. Break any laws you want to break. We'll declare them as laws now. Yeah, absolutely. Man, absolutely. I thought things would be 100 times worse than they actually are now. So I'm a little bit surprised that it's taken this long for us to get to this point. Uh, at the same time, I also expected more resistance and more refusal to, you know, do certain things. And I am so sick and tired of the whole, they're scared of him. They're scared of him. You're scared of a loud-mouthed old man who's got cognitive issues? You're scared of him? Really? Come on now. Like, what are we led by? A bunch of preschoolers? Come on. You're scared of him. Oh, they're scared. They're scared. They tell us in secret they're scared. Shut up about primaries, you idiots. We all realize this man is not going to allow voting to happen anymore. So your fears about losing your jobs? Don't worry. You Republicans, you have those jobs for life. Your king has demanded it. Did you completely forget about the fact that the man tried to refuse to leave last time? And you actually believed that you actually had this thought in your head that, oh, I'm gonna get primaried. I'm gonna get primaried. I'm gonna get Really? You're gonna get primaried. No. The reality is that um the only way you're leaving your jobs is if you go against him, and then he'll fire you. And this bill being passed gives him all the power to do whatever he wants. It does. It gives him the power to cancel elections. It gives him the power to basically to legally refuse any judgments given by courts. So, yeah, we are done at this point in time. People need to get their heads out of their butts and realize the dangerous position we're in now. Because I am sick and tired of the we're gonna fight, we're gonna resist, we're gonna fight. What are you gonna fight? What are your protests gonna do now? Your protesting has been on deaf ears. They have not been listening to you. They have not been caring about what you say, and yet you waste precious energy screaming about things. Am I the only one with a functioning brain in this country? Come on. And the other thing that freaks me out about this is supposedly Biden and all them had that Project 2025 thing at their disposal to read. And, it's like, you knew how dangerous this was, but you weren't fighting tooth and nail to fight against it before you were out. You should have been campaigning, going around to every single state. Nice. Yeah, I'm beyond sick of this nonsense about the American people will remember come election time. Even hearing Bernie Sanders say that, and he's supposed to be an intelligent man. He's supposed to be one of the smartest politicians we have. Is it because you're an old man that you do not like? What is it with you idiots? Do you not? Why is it that the American people have a better idea as to how dangerous this is than you who are in seats of power? And then here now it's like, we're gonna get through this. We're gonna get through this. We're gonna get through this. Okay, tell me how. One, the man can now declare elections void. That is a power this bill has given him. How are you going to fight against that? People are now going to lose their Medicaid. Millions are going to lose their health care and are going to go away as a result of that. I don't think I can actually say the word I really want to say. But you get the gist. And yet you're going to stand here and try to seem hopeful. Bernie Sanders, you know what? Even you should freaking resign. All of you should just quit your jobs right now, lickety-split, and march on out. And start screaming that this is the end. Because I'm starting to believe that even Bernie Sanders doesn't really care. He just likes having the cushy job and only cares so much. Because he's insulated. Because he gets that health care. Because he gets that paycheck. Because he gets tax dollars from American people. He doesn't have to worry about his health. He doesn't have to worry about being able to go to a hospital. He doesn't have to worry about medical care or medication. If I were you, and they're never going to see this, but I wish the heck they would. If I were you, Democrats, I would, every single one of you, collectively resign right now and march out en masse. And then begin calling up all former politicians, having secret meetings, getting all your legal experts together, and working behind the scenes to figure out a way through this mess. Sorry to hear that echoing bat. Yeah. Yeah, so I'm beyond sick and tired of this. Oh, we know it's bad, but don't worry, because the American people are gonna remember and they'll vote you out. Really? Come on now. You're supposed to be well-educated, intelligent individuals, and you keep squawking about the midterms. Like, what the heck? So all that law school and all those memories of what had happened the last time have left your minds? Like, sorry about that. But yeah, I'm just getting really sick and tired of this trying to inspire hope You guys are not the founding fathers. You guys are not the likes of Benjamin Franklin and George Washington. We need a new George Washington, Benjamin Franklin, and the founding fathers in this day and age, but you're not it. And then you'll keep saying, "Oh, the last defense is the people." What do you expect the people to do? They've been protesting. They've been expressing their anger and sadness at all of this. They've been calling and demanding action. And now that your bill's passed, what now? More protests? What's that gonna matter? They've proven they're not gonna listen to the people anymore. None of them are gonna listen. And why should they? They get these cushy jobs. They get, the health care that so many people are not gonna get because taxes fund them, without question. And that goes for both sides. They have nothing to fear. They're taken care of. They're protected. So if you really want to make a statement, if you really want to show that you stand with the people, Democrats, if I were you, all of you, I would say quit. Leave your government jobs, get rid of those cushy jobs, get rid of that health care that you have, get rid of it all. Resign en masse. That'll show the people that you stand with them. Come down to their level. Stop asking for donations, because I know you guys have enough money to afford to pay for your own fight oligarchy tours and this and that. Yeah, Bernie Sanders may not be, wealthy, but he's definitely got the money to be doing that. He needs to stop asking the people to fund him. He's got money. People are gonna have way more to worry about than your precious campaign funds, which don't even matter anymore because there are no elections. There's not gonna be any more voting. I'm sorry, that's just the reality. And the sooner people realize that, the better. The sooner they realize that voting is never gonna happen again, the better. Because then you can start planning something. Some legal means of effectively combating this. Get all your prosecutors, get all your, your legal experts, get them together in a room and have a secret conference. And stop talking about, these are unprecedented times. The Constitutionists, the Constitutionette, blip, 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 blip. For all intents and purposes, the Constitution has been burned to ash. So stop acting as though it exists. It means nothing now. Literally, nothing. So yeah, Democrats in office, the sooner you start smelling reality and recognizing the truth, the better chance we'll have of effectively stopping all this. If you can't see what the end result is going to be, if things continue down this path, if you can't see what that looks like, then I don't know what to tell you. You're blinder than a blind person, and you're more deaf than a deaf person. It'd be funny if it wasn't the reality that we're living in, but yeah. You keep acting as though this is just any old day, and he's just it's just Trump round one, and it'll be gone in 4 years. But you senators read the bill. On the Democrat side, you You tried to force it so that the entire bill would be read aloud. You've read all these provisions, and you're still talking about elections? When the ability to get rid of elections as a power given to the executive branch is literally a part of that bill? Did you forget about that? God, I'm starting to think that they're all incompetent. Republican, Democrat, all of them. Independent, doesn't matter. And then when he does something, you're shocked. You should not be shocked by the things he does. You should know him better than we do. The fact that this is none of the things that he's done is a shock to me, but it's a shock to you, is baffling. Like what happened? What happened with Iran? You're shocked that he did that? I'm not saying don't be horrified because it is horrific, but you're shocked that he would do that? Why are you shocked? Why are you shocked when he doesn't have actual any advisors who have any level of intelligence in their brains, driving them to say, whoa, 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 we need to put the brakes on this because if this gets out of hand, it's going to be really bad for everybody. You Democrats are useless. Bernie, you're useless. The only ones that are actually doing anything are the freaking governors. Pritzker, Shapiro, Waltz. Or is it Walls? They're doing way more than the Democrats and in the Senate and Congress. Even the ones that are actually trying to do something. All they're doing is just calling stuff out. Well, what's going to happen when ICE actually does go ahead and starts arresting all you Democrats? Starts putting you all in handcuffs and throwing you in jail. And then you're gone. Your seats are empty. Then it's just the Republicans. What are you going to do then? Demand your legal right to a phone call? We need to start acting as though the fire is already here and that it's not just a simple spark. The building has collapsed. The glass has shattered. The bricks are smoldering. There's no building to save. The only thing you can do is build a new building. But I am just sick and tired of these seemingly well-educated and intelligent individuals squawking about the midterms. As if Trump's just going to be like, okay, you guys can vote. You guys can go out and vote and defeat me by putting an opposition in power and voting out the Republicans. Okay? So what happens when the Republicans refuse to leave physically? And we know the law enforcement is going to stand by them. Because look what they've been doing. They're not with the people. The cops aren't with the people. They're with the establishment. ICE isn't with the people. Heck, we don't even know what. Like, yeah, it's been speculated that those ICE agents who are doing all these things are not actually, ICE agents. But how do you know? Because from where I'm sitting, law enforcement isn't treating this like what it actually is. And if they were real law enforcement, they'd be doing their jobs. And we know what that is. But no. Like I don't see huge groups of cops speaking out. I don't see FBI agents quitting en masse in protest. I don't see the Democrats leaving their seats and quitting their job in protest. I don't see all these supposedly angry individuals recognizing that they literally have no power now and just leaving office. Because that's what you should be doing. But no, they treat it like it's any old Tuesday. Like it's any other day. And you're right, it is above my pay grade. But why can I see what's going on more clearly than elected officials? Cause like nobody can honestly tell me that I mean, forget midterms. Like, forget midterms. We're not going to have a 2028 election. I mean, okay, yeah, there's the whole, oh, well, the states will still conduct their elections. All right, fine. States conduct their elections. They get state elected senators. They get the governor elections. Okay, fine. But what are you going to do when there are no Democrats in power? What are you going to do when every governor is a Republican? What are you going to do when every single state is red? When every single elected person is no longer a Democrat? What are you going to do? Flee the country? Yeah. I honestly, they might as well. They might as well just flee the country. All I'm saying is they should have had a plan. They had months. They were reading that thing. But they didn't. They didn't have secret meetings. Biden didn't call people in to the White House and say, "Hey, we really need to think about this. We really need to discuss this. What are we going to do when this happens? What are we going to do when the absolute worst case scenario occurs? What are we going to do to make sure that things stay intact?" He didn't, because he had faith. Because he had hope that the American people would, in his eyes, do the right thing. Really? You had faith in the American people. You had hoped that the American people would stand together in unity and make the right choice. And what did you think, that Trump was just going to obey all the laws, do as he was told, and actually obey his oath to the Constitution? You really thought that? I don't know. Are they in cahoots somehow? Are all the elected officials secretly friends behind closed doors, but when it comes time for action, they're all at each other's throats? I'm starting to think that is the truth, mofo show. I'm starting to think that, because you see them laughing with Trump. Remember at Carter's funeral, you saw Obama right sitting next to Trump, smiling. In which case, that tells me that we really do need a complete overhaul of the government. And there needs to be a strict vetting of all candidates, assuming we get out of this mess. By vetting, I mean vet them as much as you would the FBI before they become agents. Vet them so that there's not even a shred of a doubt that they would honor their oath. I mean, we should have been doing this for decades, now that I think about it. We should have been vetting every politician. Yeah, absolutely. Operates on corruption. And, much as I like Obama, he's rich. Biden's rich. They're all rich. Maybe they're not as rich as Trump and everyone else, but if this was truly about you standing for the people, how come I don't see former politicians donating to help the poor? How come I don't see them amassing rich people together to get them to donate millions of dollars to help those that don't have anything? Well, as far as that goes, and yes, that was obviously awful. The thing is, well, I can't really speak on that, but I mean, I've even heard people make the claim that Obama technically committed war crimes. And I'm not somebody that knows how the laws work, but it seems to me like law, when it comes to war, doesn't really matter because nobody faces any kind of punishment for it. When somebody commits a war crime, you don't see them getting taken away in handcuffs and locked up. So honestly, what's the point of calling people war criminals? They're not going to see a jail cell. Netanyahu's not going to see a jail cell. Yeah, we know he's committing crimes. We know he's doing illegal things. That's true. That's true, Goop. That's true. What I'm trying to say is I can see why people would view that as a war crime, even though it isn't. Because look, the reality is that Obama didn't start that war, and when he came into office, he had to continue fighting and try to end it. He had no choice. And, he made it his goal, one of his main goals, to get the troops out of there and back home as soon as possible. But so much damage had already been done that He couldn't just say, "Hey, we're done. We're out of here." It's not that simple. Um, and unfortunately, people that are not part of the fighting do lose their lives when it comes to conflict. I mean, you may be right that they're part of they're all part of the same team. It could explain why despite all the things uh Trump had done previously, Biden had a big smile on his face when he had him over the to the White House to drink tea. Or when Obama's sitting next to Trump and he says something and and Obama laughs about it. If Trump's such a big bad guy, why are you laughing with him? And then you're gonna act like your critics. Oh, I agree. But I'm also aware of the fact that, and I'm not. Look, I would never claim to know how the military works because I was never in the military, and I'd never, not only was I never in the military, but even if I had been in the military, I would have never been of any. I would have never had any kind of high rank within the military. So I literally know nothing about this subject. But, you know, a president who's never been in, a president who has no military background is is not going to know that much either. They're only going to know what their generals tell them, and they're only going to know what their Secretary of Defense tells them. Yeah. And look, I'm not trying to suggest that Harris was going to be the best president we ever had. I'm not going to sit here and act as though everything would have been perfect. But what I don't think many people seem to realize is the progress that had been made would have continued. And that would have pushed us further and further because it was going to take time for us to get to the point that we wanted to be at regardless. To get money out of politics. It's a process that would take decades. It was never going to be something that a person could do in 4 years or 8 years. You can get the you can get the ball rolling on it. You can start. You can you could start you can start things off, but you're not gonna be able to um, actually accomplish what you've set out to do in 8 years or even 10 years. Well, obviously well, I mean, before now, a president couldn't be in for 10 years, but who's to say what's going to happen at this point forward? And that's what's so frustrating is the fact that many people seem to have been under the impression that politicians are wizards and they have magical powers and they can snap their fingers and make things happen immediately. They don't understand that laws take time to come into effect. They don't understand that changes to the budget take time to come into effect. They don't understand that, even if the middle class and poor were to, let's say, be exempt from all taxes and only the rich were going to pay for it, that would still take time to happen. That would still take at least 2 years, if not longer, to happen. I don't know why they can't understand that, because magic doesn't exist. And last I checked, presidents don't have wands in their desk drawers that they just wave in the air and conjure things into existence. I don't know. Maybe they think that they're empowered by God Himself. But then again, these are the same people that believe that Biden somehow has the power to control the weather. Yeah, I'm pretty sure if Biden had the power to control the weather, I don't even want to entertain that nonsense anymore. By even remotely taking it seriously. How anybody can believe that a person can control the weather is beyond ridiculous. That somebody's been watching too much X-Men, too much anime. If they think that Biden or any president or any human being has the power to control the weather, like they're Storm from the X-Men. I mean, if that was the case, don't you think all the wars that we've been in would have just been fought using weather? That's not the same thing, and that's not complete control over the weather. Yes, that is my cat. No, they were treating it as though he could literally conjure storms to do his bidding. Doesn't work that way. It's not an exact method. And I know a scientist who would be able to back me up on that. Besides, if we had the ability to control the weather like that, don't you think we'd be using that in place of weapons to fight our wars? Don't you think we'd just be summoning ridiculously powerful hurricanes to wipe out enemies instead of sending out planes? Because I'm pretty sure we all know a uh, what is it, a Category 4 hurricane is capable of. You don't need jets at that point. It'll take all planes out of the air and have them crashing into the ocean or crashing into the ground. Anyway, this turned into a full-on rant session. Um, I've pretty much, well, I mean, we can keep going. I feel like I alienated a lot of people uh, just now. I'm right there with you, Neon Eagle. I don't know if your depression is related to things that are going on, but no, I can't say that I'm depressed. I'll just say that I'm essentially broken. Um, my mind is shattered. Um, I've always been a particularly depressed and anxious person, but it's dialed up to 20. No, it's dialed up to like a million. Uh, because of everything that's going on, and I'm just so frustrated with the fact that we have these Democrats in office again talking about the freaking midterms. Are you kidding me? The midterms. Did you forget that this man in 2020 refused to leave the office and only did so because his vice president did his job and accepted the election results? What do you think? Vance is gonna do that? Do you think Vance is gonna be like, "Oh yeah, that checks out." I don't know who the who their potential Democratic pick for president would be, but what do they think that Vance is going to be like? Oh, Harris has run for a third time and she won this time. Okay, I'll accept that. We're going to pack our bags and leave the White House. Seriously? Vance is not leaving. Trump is not leaving. None of them are leaving. They're staying put. They ain't going nowhere unless. What do you mean work on things I can control? Everything is falling apart around us, and we're headed towards existence that is far worse than Russia has ever been. We're headed towards North Korea. Everybody has to be invested. We don't have a choice but to be invested. We can't just sit on our butts and be like, oh, just let everything pass us by. I don't know what you mean by that, Neon Eagle. If you're referring to fighting this and giving something up to do so, I'm afraid we're at the point where that may actually have to happen. For all of us. I'm doing. Aubrey, I'm doing. Honestly, I don't know if it's the fact. I don't know if I'm so bothered by the fact that this has happened at all, or if it's that I'm more upset that it happened at the age I'm currently at. If this happened if this didn't happen until I was 50, I might be dealing with this a lot better. You're only 23. Jeez. Oh, I'm just talking about the hellhole that we're living in right now. You know, I saw this one ridiculous post months ago where somebody was like, "Oh, things won't get that bad because eventually we'll have Canada getting involved." Seriously? And it's not as though it's not like I don't think that Canada wouldn't want to get involved if they actually had the ability to help us. It's that they need to worry about themselves. They have their own country to worry about. Oh yeah, I shake like a blender pretty much every single day. And I'm sorry, but at the rate we're going, no, we're not going to survive for 4 years. We're not. So people need to shut up about the 4 years nonsense. The sooner people take that seriously and recognize how bad things actually are, the sooner we can actually do something. But yeah, I don't know why this one person acted as though Canada was gonna come to our aid. First of all, they've got a lot of Canada's got a lot of their own stuff to deal with, and by electing this man as president, we've pretty much flipped Canada the bird, even if it wasn't all of us that did so. And so, yeah, maybe in the past, if it wasn't for their being treated that way, maybe in the past they might have been like, yeah, we'll look into, you know, helping out if things really hit the fan. But no, that's not going to happen. I mean, unless he actually tries to take Canada as a 51st state, which is not going to go over well at all. I mean, I wish I was. I really wish I was in Canada. If I could flee and go there and live there and denounce the United States for the rest of my life, I would do so in a heartbeat. I am absolutely disgusted with this country. I am disgusted with the citizenry. I am disgusted with all politicians, both Republican, Democrat, and Independent. They just sicken me. I'm getting really angry with even the likes of I don't know how to answer that question. I really don't know how to answer that question. I wouldn't under any circumstances, but I mean, I would try to urge you not to do that. Um, because that's one of the worst things anybody could ever do. Um, I just don't know how to answer that, and it's. Uh, Oh, great. Another FBI office head has just been quote unquote forced to resign. Well, there you go. Hey there, ATEC. Or is it ATES? I'm not sure how to pronounce that. You're bored. I'm sorry to hear that. It's going. So there's somebody that has a decent following on Facebook that I follow. Made a very good point about one of the main reasons why we're in the mess we're in is because people don't have compassion. They only care when I hear you. I'm lonely too. Um, I was personally hit on multiple fronts uh, because uh, in 2023 I lost two very important people. Uh, One who died from a heart attack, another who had leukemia and passed away from that. Um, and you know, when they were gone, it just made all the stuff I heard about what was to come in 2025 that much harder to deal with. And yeah, they're not here anymore. And that's just it. They're not here anymore. I hope you're right. I really do. But it's like at this point, what other option really even is there? If the laws can't be enforced, if the police won't do their well, I mean, they have to be given an order to do something. But if we can't rely on the cops, if we can't rely on the FBI, we can't rely on um, on the U.S. Marshals because they're under the control of the federal government. If we can't rely on them, who can we rely on? That's awful. I'm so sorry to hear that. Um, I can't even imagine. Like, I'm gonna be honest, I was feeling somewhat hopeful until the thing with her Iran happened. That's when my fear really went into overdrive. If we had just, I'm talking about the political hellscape we're in. Uh, you know what? What doesn't help somebody like me, because I see these podcasters, these people with, 100,000, 44,000, million, getting interviews with politicians, getting to talk to them behind the scenes. Probably hearing a little bit more about what's going on than the average person would. Oh, you're in South Africa? Okay. Well, let's just say that we're pretty much in hell right now in the U.S. Uh, and it's getting harder and harder. Please don't take this the wrong way, because I have no idea what it's like in South Africa. I'm a bit of an idiot when it comes to politics in general, even more so when it comes to the politics of other nations. Uh, so please forgive my ignorance. Um, but yeah, I was feeling somewhat hopeful that things could be turned around until the bombings of Iran. Sonic X unofficial subliminal channel. How's it going? Welcome. Yeah, I was feeling somewhat hopeful that things could be turned around until we freaking bombed Iran. And now I'm just in a constant panic again, because it's like somebody is just intentionally removing all the doors to a massive oven and intentionally letting all the heat and smoke in. No, 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 no. No, I was talking about the bombing in well, not in Iran. I don't know how else to word it. The bombings of Iran that my country's leader decided to order. Uh, it's like, really? You seriously thought that was a wise decision? No, I'm not good with politics, but honestly, I'm probably better with politics than the current person that's president. He's an absolute moron. He's dumber than the dumbest people alive. It is 7:37 p.m. Yeah, he's honestly he might even be beyond stupid. If that was even possible. If only intelligence was a requirement to run for political office, and not, oh, the people like me, so they'll give me their votes. But I don't know. Yes, he is. You're 100% right. I wish you weren't right, and I wish I wasn't right. I wish a lot of the things that I fear happening wouldn't happen. But we're at a point now where it would literally take a miracle for things to happen differently. And I just don't see that. It would take the Supreme Court saying, we're getting rid of your presidential immunity. We're deputizing agents to arrest you for breaking all these laws, and you're going to be handcuffed and locked up. It would take something like that for me to actually see a way out of this as being possible. But the Supreme Court's not going to do that. They've abdicated their power to them. Basically bent the knee themselves. What are they going to do? Not do a job and just sit in their seats, in their comfy seats, and rake in the dough? No. See, what I would have said to that person is, Jesus would not be for any of that. Jesus would not be for any violence. And it's so exhausting that we even need to have these conversations. I don't even go to church, and I didn't even read the Bible, and I know this to be the case. I'm probably sleep deprived as well. I mean, my brain feels like it was thrown into a blender. That's how messed up I am as a result of everything that's happening. I feel like my mind has been completely shattered. And I just want to scream every single day. But yeah, attacking Iran was one of the dumbest things he ever did. Might be the dumbest thing he ever did. Regardless of the reasoning. So, you mean to tell me that it's not okay for Iran to have nuclear weapons, but it's okay for the United States to have nuclear weapons, Russia to have nuclear weapons, China to have nuclear weapons, and all these other countries to have nuclear weapons, Israel to have nuclear weapons, but Iran can't? Yeah, exactly. And then they'll say, "Oh, well, I ran this, I ran that, I ran this, I ran that," as if to suggest that Israel are the good guys. And then I'm not trying to say that there are bad that Israel is a country of completely evil people. When I say that, I'm referring to the ones that make the decisions regarding military acts. They're the bad guys. And regardless of what a person's feelings are towards cultures and how Iran's leadership conducts themselves and runs their countries, that's still no reason to take lives. That's still no reason to attack a country. I mean, if that was the case, if we were really all about keeping nukes away from quote unquote bad people, then why the heck didn't we do anything about North Korea? And we're supposed to believe that we're supposed to believe that that Netanyahu wouldn't is just gonna is I don't know. I've just it's gotten to the point to where I just don't care about anything anymore. Uh, wow, what a name that is. Yeah, I guess I like Funky Kong. From where I sit, no matter what the reasoning, no wars should ever be started. The only time any country's weapons should be used is if we were to be invaded by an alien race from space. How old am I? 36. Hi there, football editor. How's it going? Wars are probably not going to stop until the entire human race is no longer alive. And it's chill, and I hate the fact that that's probably the case. I if I had the power to make one thing never happen, it would be to make that never happen. Now, that being said, I do believe there's enough countries with pull and military might who don't want humanity to be wiped out that are actively trying to stop it. Like you can have whatever opinions you want regarding China, but from what I know about them, they're I mean, okay, yeah, they're eyeing up Taiwan, but outside of that, China doesn't want to reduce the world to a wasteland. China doesn't want to wipe out the human race. China doesn't want any of that. Like, if it came down to it, I think they'd even side with countries they'd ordinarily consider to be adversaries if it meant China keeping itself intact. Um, like if something really bad happened, I think I think China would even take the side of the West and be like, "Whoa, this is way too far." Because they've shown that they're capable of being diplomatic. They've shown that they're capable of trying to be peacekeepers. Um, so like if somebody really did really did go too far, yeah, I'm certain that it would basically be the entire world against that one country. So maybe I shouldn't have said that the entire human race will be wiped out because I know that there are countries who are doing all they can to prevent such a thing from happening. Um, I mean, it'd be great if something united the entire world somehow, but I don't see that happening. I mean, outside of an alien spaceship touching down on the planet, I really don't see what would unite the entire human population. I won't lie. As scary as it would be, I would actually be pretty excited to see an alien spacecraft land on the planet. I wouldn't even care if they were hostile. Just knowing that there's something else out there, and there exists, shall we say, a force that could unify the entire human race, would actually be very uplifting to me. Even if we, as a entire human species, were to get wiped out by said aliens. Um, but who knows? Who really knows? Uh, all right, everyone. So, I've honestly had as much doom and gloom as I can take for right now. Uh, and I kind of need to go. So thank you all for showing up. Thank you for chatting. Thank you for leaving a like. Um, to anyone who may watch this after the fact, I can't imagine I can't imagine there being anybody who would. Please consider liking, subbing, and commenting. And until the next one, I'll talk to you later.